Got paid by a stuck-up daddy's boy after 2 years. 2 years ago, I was driving around this parking garage with my wife and kids looking for a spot. The place was packed and we'd been circling for like 10 minutes. Finally, I see one open space in the corner, but there's this BMW parked at the front of the spot, towed in at this weird angle that left maybe 6 inches of room. I pull up to the attendant booth and ask if there's anything else available. She checks her computer and goes, "Nope, that's it. The system shows we're at full capacity. That's the last spot." So I very carefully inch my car into this tiny space. I'm talking 3 centimeters from this guy's bumper. I literally had to climb out through the passenger side because my door wouldn't open. My wife looks at me and goes, "This guy's gonna be pissed when he comes back." I shrugged. Not my problem. He parked like an idiot. We did our shopping and came back about 2 hours later. The BMW was gone, which was great. Except when I walked up to my car, I noticed something was wrong. Both my front tires were completely flat, not just low, completely flat like pancakes. I called the parking attendant over and she brought her manager. He looked at my tires and said they'd send a mechanic within the hour, but I was furious. This wasn't an accident. Someone deliberately did this. So I called the police right there in the parking lot. The manager wasn't happy about it, but I didn't care. The officer who showed up took my statement and asked to see the security footage. That's when things got complicated. The manager said they couldn't release video without an official complaint through their legal department, so I filed the paperwork right there. My wife took the kids home in a taxi while I waited around for the mechanic. He finally showed up, filled my tires, and I drove home 3 hours later than planned. Then the real nightmare started. I spent the next 3 months calling the parking company every single week asking for that video. The first time they sent it to the police, it was footage from the wrong camera. The second time, it was the right camera, but the wrong time window. Finally, on the third try, they got it right. And let me tell you, that video was beautiful. You could see everything. This guy in his early 20s walks up to my car, looks at how close I parked, and starts waving his arms around like he's having a tantrum. Then he gets in his BMW, backs out, and walks back to my car with something in his hand. He bends down by my tires for about 30 seconds each, then walks away. I amended my police complaint to include vandalism and got his license plate from the video. About 6 months after the incident, I got a letter inviting me to arbitration to settle this outside of court. I wrote back saying absolutely not. This was going to court. A week later, some lawyer called me. "My client is willing to offer you a few $1,000s to drop this." He was upset and made a mistake. Let's be reasonable here. I told him no and to stop calling me. Over the next few months, I got calls from 3 different lawyers with different settlement offers. Each time I said no and added their offer to my case file. Finally, 11 months after the incident, I got my court date, January of this year. The day arrives and I show up with my lawyer. This guy walks in with his dad and their lawyer. The dad's wearing an expensive suit and keeps whispering to his son. Their lawyer tries one more time. "We can settle this right now. Save everyone time." I just shook my head. The case took maybe 20 minutes. My lawyer played the video and it was game over. You could see this entitled brat walk up, throw a fit, then deliberately deflate my tires while looking around to make sure no one was watching. The judge ruled in my favor. The guy got fined about $1,700 and 90 days of home arrest. They appealed immediately, but it got thrown out a few weeks ago. Last week, I got the news that the verdict was final. They had until October 10th to pay, or the home arrest becomes actual jail time. Yesterday, they called asking for my bank account number. This morning, the money showed up in my account. But here's the best part. I found out through a mutual connection that this guy's university doesn't accept home arrest as a valid excuse for missing classes. He's losing all his credits this semester. So Martin, wherever you are, enjoy your 3 months stuck at home. Maybe next time you'll think twice before messing with someone's car just because you're mad about tight parking. 2 years was a long time to wait, but watching that spoiled brat finally face consequences, worth every second.